This is working on a 2015 Jeep Patriot with the 2.4 4-cylinder, but applies to basically any engine. So I had this taken apart, and what I want to focus on is when you check all your valve lashes, so you know nothing's in contact, and you do a vacuum check, right? So there's my vacuum pump, and I'll show you in a second, but you got good vacuum. We'll do a leak down test and see what the percentage is on that. And then also do a smoke test on the cylinder and see what results we get. Because as I had this head taken off and I was doing it just on the ground with the vacuum test, everything seemed to be just fine. But as I do a leak down test before I go to put the motor in, I noticed I got some problems. So let's just go through what those are. So we're going to do number one cylinder. It's set to top dead center. The valve lash is good. It's not contacting the valve buckets. But the first thing I want to do, I just want to do a vacuum test, just like you would if you were on the ground doing it. So I'm going to hook up my vacuum gauge and get this thing going. I got the vacuum pump on. I'll hook it up here, block the hole off, turn the air on. Right? It's got good vacuum, I can't pull it off. Shut the air off to it, comes off. So I would think that that would be a good test to make sure that the exhaust valves and intake valves are seating well. So let's hook up some air to it, see what the leak down test looks like. So that's a high amount of leakage. And I can feel air coming out the exhaust, but nothing out the intake. So I got my smoke machine on down here, and I'm just using the same hose that I had for my leak down tester. I'm going to attach another hose to this one so I can have my smoke machine blow into the cylinder and wait for that to start blowing smoke. Alright, she's blowing. Let's connect it. Look at all that smoke rolling out of there. Let's check the intake side. Intake's good. Nothing's coming out of there. Back to the exhaust. I mean, you can just see it coming out. So I've checked all 4 cylinders, and these are my results. So the intake side, I got no smoke coming out of it, but on the exhaust side, the L's for low, H is for high as far as the amount of smoke coming out of each individual exhaust valve port, because you could see the smoke coming out of each one of them. But what I wanted to go over today was just simply suggesting that a good vacuum test does not mean that it's sealed just because it creates a vacuum. So that was a good test to make sure that I didn't put this motor in and have it fail on me. Because once I would have done a compression test once it was in the car, I would have found it had plenty of issues. So between the leak down test and the smoke test, it's let me know that I've got to pull this head off and reseat the valves. So something for you guys to look at as you're going through doing your rebuilds. Hope it helped you out. Thanks.